手続きをしてないので壊れてはいないのかもしれないんですけど、ちょうど1年前ぐらいに V 少女はもう事実上存在しなくなりました。どうも皆さん、ケイソンです。今回ちょうど1年が経ったってことで、まあいろいろあれからどうしてんの大丈夫っていう方に向けて動画をちょっと作らせていただこうと思いました。ご存知の方も多いと思うんですけど、軽く説明させていただくと、私のマネジメントをしていた会社がございまして、案件の手配ですとかグッズを発売してくださる時のいろいろ裏の準備とかそういうのをしてもらってた会社で V 少女っていうところがございまして、そこにね一時所属させていただいてたんですけれども、去年の今頃にその V 少女が所属タレントから、めちゃくちゃに横領をしてそのまんま失踪したっていう形で、本当に突然だったので何にもわからない状態で1年前の私はどういうことみたいにもうなるしかなかったので、あれからね大丈夫なのかって話なんですけれども、あれからというか一度もないんですけど、あれ以降も何もあれがある最中も風少女側からタレントへの連絡とか一切なくて、もうそのまんま消えたみたいな感じで、なんか代理の弁護士さんからちょいちょい連絡が来てたりはしてたんですけれども、それもなんか消滅して、その弁護士さんもなんか金もらってなかったらしくて、もうやめますみたいなそうだよね、弁護士さんだってお金かかるしね、普通に考えたら。なので今どうなってるか全くわからないんですけれども、とりあえず横領したまんま消えたっていう状態で、私の方はそこからもうずっとマネちゃんと二人三脚でやらせていただいてます。うちのマネージャーのママネちゃんは V 少女に所属する前から私と一緒にやってた人なので、 V 少女にお世話になってた時も V 少女の社員でやってたんですけども、そこから抜けた後は私個人のマネージャーとして今も一緒にやっていっています。あれからいろんな人も会社も結構信じられなくなっちゃって、人ってどうやって信用するんだろうみたいな、結構人間不信、会社不信、全てにおいて不信みたいになっちゃったんですけど、ケイソンさんいろいろ大変でしたね。よかったら全然事務所とかそういうの関係なくうちと仕事をしてくださいって言って案件くださるところとかもたくさんあって、本当にね個人としてはめちゃくちゃ充実した生活を今でも送らせていただいてるんで、その件に関してなんかいろいろ問題がとか裁判がとかなんかそういうのは全然なくて、むしろそこにも至ってないみたいな感じで、ただ私の方は忘れてはないけど平和にやらせてもらってますってことだけねまず報告させていただいて、ただやっぱりこの業界ちょっと闇深いなって思ったのが、よい少女の件があった直後ぐらいにぜひうちとお仕事をしていただきたいです。いろいろありましたけど大変そうですけど、ぜひやりましょうって言ってくださって、うちの会社は全然安心してくださいって言ってた会社さんが一緒に映像を撮る仕事をさせていただいて、
Give me all that
仕
stuff.
事かけたり結構大事でいろいろやらせていただいたんですけど、そこで関わってくださってた方が途中で飛んでしかも私と一緒に取材とかね、もうほんといろんな方々を巻き込んでやった取材とかのデータをそのまま持ったまま消えたらしくって失踪で、結局表に出ることなく、うちは絶対大丈夫なんだ
That's my right
笑
now.
顔で言ってたあの顔全然忘れられないんですけど、そんなこともあってやっぱこの業界闇深いなって普通に思いましたね。そこはちなみには本当に未払いとかはなくて、物としては表には出なかったんですけれども、あいつがなんか全部映像とか全部持って飛んだせいで、すいませんお金をお支払いします、ちゃんとお支払いします、大変申し訳ありませんでしたっつって責任を取ってくださったんで問題は起きなかったんですけど、最終的にその会社さんがそのスタッフの尻を拭ったんですけど、闇だなって思いました。普通にこういうこと普通にあるんで、この業界結構普通にありますマジで。エンタメ業界怖い。いやこの業界ってね結構ねもう不適合者の集まりなんだよマジで。一般社会でやっていけないからこの業界来ましたみたいなガチで、そういう人が本当にめちゃくちゃ多いんですよ。私もその一人ですし、私はどちらかというと一般社会でやっていけない人がここで、やっていけてる人がここだとしたらどちらかというとやっていけてる人よりのこの辺なんですけど、やっていくには相当な精神的苦痛を自らに強いるみたいな、そういうタイプの人間だったんで、この業界来れてめちゃくちゃ嬉しいし、全然ね後悔してないし、奪われたものよりもこの業界に来て得たものの方が 100%、150%、2000% 多いんでいいかなって感じなんですけど、 YouTuber、インフルエンサーとか憧れの世界だと思うんですけど闇ですよ、闇。本当にもう真っ黒。ただやっぱねおかしな人たちが多いからちょっと面白くはある。正直ネタにはこと書かないっすね。みたいな 平気で怒る、怒っちゃう、起こしてくるもん、本当に頭大丈夫みたいな人いっぱいいるから。まあでも引き続きね、事務所っていうバックが全然ないにもかかわらず、いろんな方々が関わって支えられて全然楽しくやっていけてます。ありがとうございます。先日は個人的にイベントもさせていただいて、まあこれからやること全部個人的なんですけど、もう個人って言わなくてもいいぐらいめっちゃ個人なんですけど、もう大成功で楽しいイベントさせていただきまして、イベントで得られた収益でまたイベントやるって感じで、今後はね、イベント創業で、自転車創業、イベント創業でやらせていただきたいと思います。ファンの方と交流する機会って私すごい貴重だし、大好きだし、楽しいし、結構闇深い業界ですけど、まあ私の方は楽しく変わらずやらせていただいてますよってことで、おかげさまで総長もね楽しくやらせてもらってるんで、本当にね IP とか奪われてなくてよかったなっていう。美少女関連で唯一マジで良かったことは IP を取られてなかったこと。あれ取られてたらもう V 少女がなくなった時点で総長っていうアイデンティティそのまま消えなきゃいけなかったんで、一緒に。だからそれだけ本当に良かったなとは思ってますね。総長かわいいねこれ本当に。結構質問で言われたのが、またどっかにグループ組んだりとか所属することはありますかっていうのがよく聞かれるんですけど、まあそれはちょっと今難しいよね。別になんか誰かと一緒に何かをやることには何の抵抗もないんですけど、そこになんか金銭的ななんか何かが発生するのはもう嫌かも。案件とかお仕事は別ですよ。どっかに所属してそこからお仕事もらう代わりにこれの報酬の何パーセントをみたいな、そういう関係にはもう誰ともなりたくないので、まあ個人的にね楽しくやっていくかなって感じですね。どっかに所属してた方がいろんな大きな機会をいただけるってことは絶対にそっちの方が有利だし、そういうのを逃すことになるんじゃないのと言われたらそれはそうかもしれないんですけども、なんかもう今は自分の心の安定とかそういうのの方が優先、人生の楽しさとか優先。もうなんか私なんか一生分の承認欲求もう満たされたからさ、なんかもうありがとうって感じもうなんかみんな本当にもう満たしてくれてるから、十分あまり欲張っちゃいけないねって思ってます。だからこれ以上はなんか上を目指すっていうか、まずはちゃんと自分の信用とか実績とかそういうのを作り直さなきゃいけないなって。私は間違ったところを信用しちゃったし、その信用したところをいいところだよっていう風にもいろんな人に言っちゃったから、なんかそういう意味でお前の感覚どうなってんのっていうのはやっぱり崩れたと思ってる、自分で。そう私も自分の感覚を信じられないし、まずそこを自分の目の前のね一個一個の仕事を大切にやっていくことによって、だからどでかい企業さんとどでかいなんかタイアップ案件みたいなのはできないかもしれないけれど、ちっちゃな信用からこう取り戻していって、なんか別に私はなんか悪いことしたわけじゃないんだけど、でもそういうもんだと思うので地道に努力していって、最終的に大きなことがねでっかくできるようになるまで今は時間かける時期かなと思っています。なので引き続き皆さんね応援していただけたら嬉しいかなと思いつつ、感謝もしつつ生きてる、そんな感じの近況でございます。ちょうど去年の今頃はね結構絶望してて、どうすんの今後みたいになってたんですけど、まあ意外とね時間経つとね忘れるもんですね。なんかあんなこともあったなぐらいに今慣れてるのが良かったなって思ってます。これも全部皆さんが応援してくれているおかげなので本当にありがとうございます。本当にありがとうございます。これからもね私がどこを目指していくのかはまあ流れって感じですけども、まあ応援していただけたら嬉しいのでよろしくお願いします。よろしくね、よろしくよろしく。
That's Minecraft on a that's so much TNT. That's not gonna. Well, yeah. It just blew up his phone. There was nothing left of it. It didn't know how to comprehend all that you were doing out there. That looks like even an older phone. And even I only have like a real old. I'm not gonna reveal the model and make of my phone because I'm a little bit embarrassed. Everyone makes fun of me how old my phone is, man. All right, look. Anyway, what's cracking, guys? And welcome, gamers, because today we have some video game memes out here. I'm Mr. Gamerman himself, a lost pause. You can abbreviate it to Noble if you want. No, it doesn't make any sense. I know. That's fine. That's just my name. So, anyway, let's get to some beautiful friggin' memes here. You know, stick around if you want. Hit the like button if you want. Subscribe. I demand it. The Valve's official Chell Fursona. And apparently this guy's confirming it here because he's got a merch of it on his shirt that it's closed. I had no idea that Valve made a persona of their Portal character. I mean, I've heard of and seen the Japanese military persona one. That one's interesting, but I didn't know Valve also made one. How many people have personas out here? Lily does not count. This is the third video of the time. It does not count. Here's your idol, Sensei. Elegant clearly pulls up the Desert Eagle, just loads it up. The cutest little Lincoln lock and load. Gotcha games are kind of ridiculous. I think we all know that at this point out here. And typically the more ridiculous they are, the better they sell. Then Sharky with, let's see what people are saying about you, Jeff, says Gwenpool, and oh no. It's just a cute little shark pupper. I can't tell you how much vitriol and just loathing there is for this cute little shark puppy. What has this thing done to you? I mean, I can imagine. Here's a bit of news. Director Hideki Kamiya was asked by a fan if the announcement trailer was made by AI for Okami 2. Don't ask such pointless questions, you idiot. Go away. There's the tweet under. Oh my god. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. Recently bought Okami, and I've never played the game before, and I'll probably play it on stream. I don't care if Marvel Rivals wins. I just need Overwatch 2 to lose. Yeah, Overwatch 2 has just been, what a disappointment. They honestly should just delete the 2 at this point, because that's just an embarrassment. It really is. But for the sake of competition, it's good to have both, because both are gonna make each other better. So, good that they both exist. Kajima with, you're mine. Crap. That's how it looks out. Hey. Hey, yo, great. What could have been something intimidating turned entirely into a good joke, and that's how you diffuse a situation. She may still be in trouble, sure. Depends on the mods installed. So Nane-san with, manager, can I sleep in your room tonight? Oh yeah, sure, why not, says Weiss, and later that night, Weiss slept in Belle's room. It's not what I want. I don't want to sleep with him. And first time. How would you not notice that the shark is there too? Man, Zenless Zone Zero, you date so many women in that. You really do. And now they added an extra dating feature to go with it. You even date men at this point here. You got some trouble on your hands. You can play Minecraft with an AI Fox Girl bots now. Perfect. There is a way to actually have AI chat GPT bots come in and they will play with you. They're not perfect. They can't do like parkour civilization stuff. Also, looking at this picture, I didn't realize for a bit because I couldn't quite discern her next. Kind of just looked like she had like a beard underneath it, just kind of like a mouth and a beard. If you can see what I'm saying, if you take it back further, it kind of looks like a beard about there. But anyway, it kind of ruined the Fox Girl. So Sin Zoro with a bunch of hats. And Miyabi just looking at a bunch of hats out there too. And oh, okay, the shark's got her lolly on, and well, I don't think that's how you're supposed to wear that hat. Her ears are too stiff to put on a hat. I just like how everyone just draws Miyabi's ears just so freaking strong and powerful and long. It's just canon now. It's sharper than her sword. So Jeff off my whole team in Marvel Rivals, and just throws the little guy. No. Just blows up in the distance. There's so much Jeff slander. Everyone's just trying to destroy Jeff. I understand he scoops up your entire team in his mouth and he spits you out somewhere, maybe he's gonna put you in like an ice cream parlor. You could all have ice cream or something. So this came together, and these are two different artists. This first one's by Carbuet here. And I just have to laugh at how this popped up in Twitter for me. Then I was clapping my homeroom teacher's cheeks. And later I made this girl just like interviewing him. And this one by Cupper. What the heck did you tell Makoto's sister? Just getting arrested. And I just like, there's a before and after. It came so perfectly in my feed that it was just so perfect. Oh hey, it's that new singer that got revealed in ZZZ, and something seems off with her hair, and let me just fix it. I have to fix your bangs. Let me clip your bangs. Why is it off center? Why do you, come on man. Let me just fix your bangs. Rule 34. I'm done saving you. As they drop Overwatch 2, as the Marvel Rivals. Oh my god, 894 already? You guys know me. I'm the guy. Let me just see what that number's up to right now. Wow. 1,858 now. It got 1,000 more in 5 days since this was posted. So you know, with VRC, very peaceful as you lay in a field, versus reality as your, you know, that's a good actual use for VR. You know, if it gives them, you know, like a nice place to relax and have some downtime, I think that's a really good use of VR. Oh, and here's another one by Kuwagata Zarus. Reality as, wait, she's, and versus VR as it's a dog getting pets and, okay. Maybe VR's a mistake. There's two sides of the same coin here, lads. It is funny how both of those were posted on the same day and they came up in my feed the same day. Interesting. You know what? They really shouldn't be calling them woke games. Why is that? Because I tried playing one and it put me right to sleep. Go! No! That is something they would say. Oh, there's another one by Arrested Comics out here. What a night! I wish I was a PS5 exclusive right now. What's so great about being a PS5 exclusive? I wouldn't be here. No! Okay, that one was a banger. So much of Forest Cat with, remember, stealthily without attracting attention. Okay. Hey! Hey, they thick boys. They even learned the Fortnite. Oh my god. Is that Raven team leader? I can't remember all of what they are, Chin. I recently played it again with him after like 6-9 months of not playing. And it was pretty good. I had a good time. Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, hey, bro. My favorite band broke up. Kinda bummed about it. As the rubber band snapped and you just hear him laughing like that. Such a dumb joke. Why do the dumb ones make me laugh? So here we have a bunch of builders that designed a beautiful dirt house, and their thing was a modern house with all the things. Oh yes, I have all the plans to build the coolest Minecraft house, and you know, at least modern house building is easier in Minecraft because everything in the modern house is just kind of, you know, blocks and things like that. But sometimes you just want to build a giant wiener, which is exactly what I did, and Ashley built the modern house out of concrete, and she was happy with hers, and I made a great glowing wiener.
Wait, I have to go south.
Welcome to the stage, Harrison Ford. This is just an no. Video Game Awards, it was a heck of a show. It was really cool, but seeing Harrison Ford up there and just barely being able to talk, oh man, we're getting old, guys. He was great in Indie, and he was great in Star Wars, and I'll always remember him fondly for those. Oh hey, Quaver draws with a Sally and Sonic comic. Look, Sonic, I put Nicole's main font on my iPhone 15 Pro Max. It's much more practical than that old, huge font. And that's actually how she had in the comics and in the show. And hi, Sonic. That's how Nicole looked. I don't remember how she looked. And cool. Now I'm still kind of homeless. Sally from the juicing. Sally, why are you trying not to laugh? What's wrong with you? That's disrespectful. I'm just doing the speed thing. It's still kind of hope. And if you guys don't know the lore, but there's a few things behind this joke. Yes, apparently Sonic is homeless. I think it was like declared by Sonic, by Sega itself, that he doesn't have a home. He doesn't have a home, so he's literally homeless. And the speed thing is a different thing entirely. Found the perfect counter for Jeff. As... Okay, that's actually... It's just falling endlessly through portals. Aww. I mean, it's kind of cute. It's literally just Portal 2. I've done this a million times, and everyone just wants to go in and have it. There's so many Jeffs. Oh my god, there's so many Jeffs. Looks fun, though. Who portaled my tree, man, as... Oh my god, you actually, like, stuck it up in the tree? What the heck? In the roof? And it's just over on this side. That's cool. That is actually so cool. And you even have like a companion cube as the bottom of it. All right, I'm not gonna lie. That's really clever. Looks like kind of a pain to mount on the ceiling like that, but other than that, it's still really cool.
Got the tan team over there, getting
Yo,
ready to take us on.
is this VR army soldiers?
Get 'em, boys.
Yo, that's cool. As they're all getting in there. It even has like, oh, the toy grenades. His leg is off. What? You can get in a drone? No shot. That's so cool. This is actually everything that I imagined in my head when I was playing games. I just want to be a toy. This is everything that I imagined going on as a kid when I was playing with my army toys. I had a bunch of micro machines and things like that. It was so cool. I loved it. Okay, and that's gonna do it here for our video game meme session. Hope you guys had some good laughs and sensible chuckles. If you did, stick around. I got so many meme videos for you guys to have some fun with. Have some good times. But for now, I hope to see you beautiful sons of guns again in the next video.
Poi io io, tá ligado? Esse bicho aí, ó,
Oh,
ele fica
okay.
observando você.
Why the Hello Kitty is the scary guy?
Porra, velho.
What about the guy who come from and just slapped him? Why is it just slap him so hard? Anyway, what's cracking, guys? And welcome to some good old video game memes out here. It's been
Only 600. Nice. Whoa. Whole new area. Beautiful.
The gaming market is starting
Let's
to bring, as
see.
we all know, The gaming industry
Looks
seems
like
to be
it'll
on fire
last.
at the moment. Prices of consoles going up year after year. It feels like it's kind of a losing battle, and with that means developers are less likely to want to innovate with their games when no one can even play on their consoles anymore because
Let's
they're
head
too
west.
expensive. So we're gonna see what exactly is up with this and watch this video. The gaming market is starting to break. I'm live every day. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it, shall we?
This is a PlayStation 5. It came out in 2020 at $399. And
Oh my god, it's been 6 years? Oh, fuck me.
now, even though it's 6 years old, it costs $599. Nintendo's announced a price hike
How much is the PS5 Pro? Does anyone know?
to their Switch 2. The Xbox has raised its price 3 times since 2025.
Jesus.
The scariest part is not even the extra money, it's what's happening around it. Because at the same time, PlayStation announced it's going to stop shipping physical game discs entirely. Xbox has axed.
Yeah, just fuck you. Yeah, just fuck you. If you have like physical discs, no backwards compatibility to future consoles, nah, you're not gonna be able to run your discs anymore. You're only gonna be able to play these games
So
using
I was
the
just
old
supposed to head
hardware.
west and where?
That's just how it be now.
To
Your
this
discs
bus.
now mean nothing. It's crazy. Like we're actually, you will own nothing and you'll be happy about it. Era is truly upon us.
5 of its big game production studios and fired thousands of people in what's being called one of the biggest single layoffs in gaming history, all while Nvidia has started capping how many hours a month you're allowed to play when using their services. The craziest part? Everything I've just mentioned is linked. This is actually all part of a single chain reaction that's already started in the gaming
Dude, this editing is crazy.
and I don't see where it stops.
Dude, everything's just so fucked. I really think. Yo, hi. Thank you for the sub, lovely. Thank you for the sub. Can you turn it up? Is it quiet? Is it actually quiet? I can turn it up. I genuinely think.
Okay, there's the boss
that
over here.
this is
I
going
haven't
to
caught yet.
impact the quality of games that come out. New hardware is going to become more expensive. The new next generation of consoles is going to be so expensive due to the requirements that needs memory, everything. No one's going to be able to.
Oh, I already
afford
got
them.
this.
Developers are going to be making games for their consoles.
What does that
anymore.
mean?
Like innovation in gaming of like how we push the limits is really going to
Oh,
be
fuck,
now
a
reserved
Rex.
for the super mega rich. That's what it is. Like the time of like gaming being consumer friendly is over, and there's less incentive to innovate in gaming. Less motivation to innovate in consoles. And if they do, it's going to be available for super mega rich people. Oh, it's crazy. It's the death of like normal consumer gaming as we know it, in my opinion.
To understand what I mean, if we were to take apart
Okay,
this
good.
PlayStation 5, inside you would find 16 gigabytes of RAM, or memory, which it needs to be able to run games. A single AI chip from Nvidia, the Blackwell Ultra, requires 288 gigabytes of memory, 18 PlayStation 5's worth of RAM. Now it is a fancier type of memory than what's in your PlayStation, but it's made on the same production lines by the same companies, so every gigabyte
And it disappeared.
So they'd rather prioritize this than for consoles. Oh fuck.
This is a gigabyte that can't be made for a PS5. And the problem is when
It's
AI
supposed to be in the
companies
lake.
buy chips for their data centers, they don't just buy one. Chips are sold in racks, each containing 72 of those AI chips. So one rack equals 1,300 PlayStation 5.
Nope, this isn't it.
1,300. And obviously these data centers are gonna have hundreds of racks.
Oh, it's below us.
Okay. Honestly, this is just all a supply and
That-
demand issue. How do we increase production of chips? Isn't that only like 3 companies that do it, right? There's only very few places where chips are actually made. Like we just need to okay. Find the source.
Oh dear. And they don't just buy one rack. Racks are purchased in clusters. Last year, Microsoft switched on their first big cluster to help power the growing needs from OpenAI's ChatGPT models. That cluster was 64 racks.
Yeah, you can't even go with your wallet because like if you just boycott like, oh, I'm never buying consoles, these companies, oh, okay, doesn't
Achoo.
matter. AI companies are like buying from us and anyway. Like that's like for example, start making consumer grade like memory because they don't care about the consumer market because it's such a small portion of their revenue. It doesn't matter to them. I think Nvidia is going a very similar way. Consumer market is just like such a small revenue share. Why would they bother to cater to it?
In one go, 83,000 PlayStation 5s. And here's where it gets truly terrifying. Even that was barely a test run compared to the scale on which these new servers are being set up now. Just a year later, OpenAI is currently building out Stargate campus that will reportedly hold 100 times the number of racks as that first purchase. 8.3 billion PlayStation 5 worth of memory in one company's one site.
Bro, how much energy? That's gonna draw the same amount of energy as like a city.
Ah.
That's insane. That's, bro, that place is, bro, you're gonna need, bro, they need to build like nuclear power plants next to these things to supply them with energy or something. That's fucking crazy.
There's almost enough PlayStations for every single household in the entire continent of Australia. And so when you factor in that there are also other AI companies, Meta and their even larger Prometheus site, xAI's Colossus, supposedly the world's most powerful data center, Amazon, Google, and every other big tech company who's galloping headfirst into the AI wars, we have reached a point where AI data centers are now estimated to be swallowing up 70% of the world's memory output. 70% is going into building services that we barely heard of 5 years ago. And that has left everything else on the planet that needs memory.
But I know it's bad. I know it was bad. I didn't realize it was bad.
Every phone, every PC, every car, everything is having to now fight over the small and rapidly shrinking that's left. Why don't you take some more memory, you ask?
Dude, imagine if this thing it's just a fuck. But then even if it goes to fuck, then data centers you can still make. You can still
it's one of
utilize
these.
something else technically. So like it's not like an entire waste. But holy shit.
Well, I don't think we want it. See, the entire world's memory supply comes from largely 5 companies. And if we're talking about the specific type of memory used to make RAM, that's only 3 companies: Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. And these 3 companies could choose to invest tens of billions into new factories to be able to produce more, but that would take 3 to 4 years to build. And if there were to be an AI crash in that time, they would get more money. And so, why take the risk when they're currently breaking it down? These companies are...
I feel like these companies are so mega rich. They will spend so much money to try and force a bubble not to burst. Like they will just pull off some mega shady, dumb fucking shit in order for that to not happen as long as possible.
currently lapping up 70% margins on their memory compared to historical 30-40% because of one simple fact that their new favorite customers, big tech companies, will pay absolutely anything for it. We are in a very
Yeah,
unique...
because they have unlimited money. Bro, AI companies are be given unlimited money to do whatever the fuck they want in
where basically for the first time since the dot-com bubble, some of the richest companies on the planet, like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, are not even behaving like businesses. They're spending more money than they're even making on AI because the fear of losing the AI race has actually become bigger than the fear of debt. This is a very precarious situation for the world, and it puts these memory companies in such a powerful position that it feels like they just decided to forget entirely about the consumer, with Micron actually quietly shutting down.
Yeah, dude, crucial. Dude, I have crucial memory. And it's, fuck me. Fuck me. I guess I just won't anymore.
Why not?
Crucial to focus on these data center business customers. Now, new factories are coming. Elon Musk and Intel are building a giant AI complex in Texas, for example, that will also make some memory, but none of it produces anything meaningful before 2028. Plus, almost all of that new capacity is being built for, you guessed it, the AI customers anyway, because, well, you already know now. So how much more expensive has this memory really become? Well, to give you an idea, within just 3 months at the end of last year, the price of a
Alright,
single
nowhere.
16GB stick of RAM
Nowhere?
rose almost 300%, according
No.
to...
Dude, I don't tell me, bro, stop.
I
Don't
guess
tell me about
yes.
it. When I got my PC, oh my god. Bro, I need more RAM. It's the crazy thing. I've got 32. I need 64 gigs. I'm fucked. I'm not spending that much money on a RAM stick.
To Tom's Hardware's RAM price index. Asha Sharma, CEO of Xbox, has said the price we paid for console
From there.
components was over 2 times as high as we paid last
From
year.
there.
These costs have since doubled again, and as we plan for the 2027 holiday season, we expect another significant increase, taking us
Gotta
over
take them
5
out.
times the prices we paid only 2 years earlier. 5 times. Memory is getting so expensive that, according to a report from TrendForce, on some high-end graphics cards, the memory that's on the card, known as the VRAM, now accounts for up to 80% of the total cost. Let that sink in. The
That's
actual
insane.
clever bit of the graphics card that you should be paying for, the GPU chip that companies like Nvidia spend billions designing, is on some cards now costing less than the basic memory
That's fucked up.
soldered around it. Here's where it starts to get problematic. The implications from these higher prices are bigger than they first seem. Because when the prices go up, of course, fewer consumers buy. Like if we take PlayStation, just after the price hike, Americans bought fewer PlayStations than they had in any May since the year 2000. That's before the PlayStation 2 had even come to America. Xbox had the worst May in its entire history, and it's much bigger.
Xbox is fucked. I don't know how you say it. I don't know how you say it. They laid up a bunch of studios. They're rolling back their prices on Game Pass and things like that. It's rough.
PlayStation and Xbox, any company that makes any type of computing hardware. I was speaking to the director of one of the big Windows handheld companies, the companies that make this kind of stuff, and his words were, man, Windows gaming handhelds and computers are dead. Prices are it's crazy. How bad it is for a director of operating business to hold their own business down, even like
That's crazy. Also, like, no one is new consoles. How are they going to release the console? We're never going to see the PlayStation 6. That's never coming out. Like, why would Sony release a PlayStation 6? It's not going to happen. We're going to be stuck with PS5 generation consoles for like a billion
Valve, typically the strongman of value gaming, just launched their Steam machine, the box
Oh, and this was rough too.
that's barely as powerful as the 6-year-old PS5, for $1,049. It's not going to be the next Steam Deck, put it that way. So all of a sudden, the current console, the bastion that 30 years has been the affordable way to game, the thing your mum could buy you at Christmas, is quietly drifting away from a staple to a luxury purchase.
And I mean, less people playing games, less reason for developers to innovate to make cool games because they're gonna make less sales. I'm just thinking about it from a game standpoint. And you know, what I think the consequence of this will be, I think we're gonna see a massive rise in the amount of people doing mobile gaming. Think about it. Look how good some of these mobile I know mobile optimization's a bit rough. Like Genshin, Zenless, Arknights. So many of these games running on mobile at the moment and just being the quality that they are, I truly think we're gonna see a huge fucking boom in games coming out on mobile, being optimized for that hardware. A phone you already own. So rather than buy a new console, people will just like invest in one really good phone and it does their phone stuff and run games. Like, I think there's going to be an even huge boom of mobile gaming at some point, and people's, spending more to play. If you want to play top games, people are going to be just doing on their phones. Maker still requires sim components. Yeah, but it's only one purchase versus getting phone and then console, or phone and PC parts, right? You might as well play on a device you already have.
Now, gamers aren't going to stop playing games, right? But are they going to have to start changing where they play them? Very possibly. And that's where things get concerning. If the PlayStation 6, for example, launches at 2.5 times the base price that the PS5 did, $1,000, which sounds like an outrageous prediction, but is actually what the current latest rumors are suggesting, then it's not a crazy thought that far fewer people are going to buy a PS6. And you might think, okay, I mean, that's fine, I'll just wait, I'll buy it pre-owned. But it's not about just us, the individual. See, the entire console gaming industry relies on momentum. These companies have to sell tens of millions of these consoles right out the gate to prove to developers that their new platform is worth developing.
And then you realize, it's like the PS was a really good console, but it was so pricey at the time, no one bought it. Everyone got Xbox 360. So there was barely really any exclusive for PlayStation 2, really. And they all went Xbox, and that's why the user base forever.
It means that a new console is basically either all or nothing. You either sell tons of boxes, have developers flood into your platform to make games for those users, and then even more users buying the console because of those games. The Nintendo Wii is a great example of forward momentum like this. with the console eventually hitting 101 million sales. Or you bottle it at the start, you don't manage to get that initial launch.
Done.
Game devs don't want to take the risk, and then pretty much nothing you do is going to save your platform. Like the Wii U, which came just after the Wii, and in its entire lifetime has only hit
Yeah,
But
no
it's
one
on a
gave a
new
fuck
way.
about the
million.
Wii U.
So my question is,
So
how
you
on
go
earth
back
are
down
Sony or
there.
Xbox going to build any kind of momentum with their next-gen consoles if they're priced at $1,000? If the PS6 launches and only 5 to 8 million people buy one in the first year, whereas 80 million people are currently on PS5s, which platform are developers going to prioritize their games for? Obviously the old one. Sure, they'll make a version that runs at a higher resolution for the latest
You
hardware.
know what? This also means if we're going to be running on older hardware for longer, this means developers, now's the time to like optimize your fucking games. You can make good games with the shit that's already there. It's just got to be optimized. I think this is also a great time for like indie games too. You know, like stop trying to rely on new hardware to run your games. No, like game optimization is so fucking important more than ever now.
But any sensible developer who's going to have to spend maybe half a decade pouring everything into their next game is going to do everything to make sure that it's PS5 users who are
DLSS and FrameGen does all the work, but that's not the point. Like, developers shouldn't have to rely on DLSS and FrameGen to do the work. They should just optimize and make good games out the back. If we're going to be with this hardware for longer, spend time making these games run right.
getting an optimal experience, because that's where the money is. So now there is even less reason to upgrade. And the spiral descends. Because here's the thing, Sony more so than Xbox is a little bit protected in the short term. If no one buys a PS6, then they do still have this giant PS5 install base to sell subscriptions and games to. But the install base of a console is like a melting ice cube. Consoles break, they get sold, they get retired, and players do slowly lose attachment and stop buying games for it across its lifetime. They drift over to PC, phones, or just out of the hobby. Normally the thing that replenishes this pool of active users is the next-gen console. So if the PS6 ends up too expensive to do that, then the paying population for companies like Sony is going to shrink every year, with nothing refilling it. So, if these companies want to continue to maintain their profits, they have to claw back money from other places. And as far as I can see, there are 4 ways that they could do this. The first lever they can pull is subscriptions. I think these companies will raise the price of subscriptions and will make it feel more essential.
Oh, Game Pass tried doing that, and they raised it so high, they had to walk it back and lower it again. Because it was so high. So I don't know. The people just didn't accept it. And they had to lower it. I doubt they'd go back and raise it again. Nintendo, I think. Yeah, it's still higher than it was before, but you know, I see Nintendo doing it, and I see Nvidia doing it rent to GPU. I really think it's it's going down the way. I forgot what it's called, the Nvidia GeForce like Go or Now or whatever.
That felt
it is,
too
where you can
quickly.
just like pay a subscription and virtually use a computer to run any game on, and the games get streamed to you, like that kind of stuff. I think it's a really cool idea.
Feel powered
but
now.
it depends very heavily on how good your monitor is, how good your internet connection is. FPS games on it tend to be kind of like shit, so. But I see a lot more people using those services. A lot of people, but people who can't afford like components at all. I see that being a massive thing. Yeah.
To get the experience. I mean, Xbox tried an enormous price increase at the end of last year to its Game Pass, then realized they went a little too far and pulled it back a
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
But it's still more expensive than it was. And Nintendo's already started jacking up online costs 2 months ago in Japan. So
Yes,
who knows
bro,
how...
of course. I fully expect Nintendo to. Fully expect Nintendo to.
Long till that becomes global. Lever 2 is game prices. And we've already been seeing a lot of this
I
before.
mean, Sony already like got rid of like physical discs.
For the memory crisis. Like $60 was the default price for a game for 15 years. Then it jumped to $70 in 2020, only to now start another jump to $80, just 5 years after. If things carry on like this, we might be seeing the $100 video game sooner than we'd like to. The third lever is control. This is what we've just seen happen with Sony, announcing that from 2028 onwards, they're going to seize distribution of physical discs. And this might seem completely unrelated to what's happening here, but the key thing that this move achieves achieves for Sony is rerouting a lot of the money in the gaming market that wasn't previously going to them back to them, because it means
Yeah, because like reselling, right? Like you'd buy a game and then you could like resell it on later and Sony doesn't see any of that money, but now they have total control of who buys their games. You can't get one like secondhand for cheaper. Like nope, you just gotta buy direct from the store. It eliminates that whole aspect, isn't it?
that
It's
you can't sell
yeah,
your games in.
you're
When games are
fucked.
digital, they are tied to your
Damn.
account.
I know you just
effectively
don't own
shutting
anything
down
anymore.
the entire secondhand market. It means that if your friend wants to play the same game you're playing, you can't just lend it to them. They can't just pop over to eBay
Hey,
and grab
who's
it
down
for
here?
$20. They have to make an entirely new, maybe $80, maybe $100 purchase direct to Sony. And if that doesn't already sound like a problem, look at this. On my PlayStation right now, if I want to buy, say, Immortals of Avion, a game that, it's safe to say, flopped pretty hard, Sony is currently selling that for £69.99. That exact same game, I can pop onto my phone, go onto CEX, and order the physical edition for £5.
What?
It is crazy to think that the second option could just disappear. And crazy
Oh my god, that's insane.
still, that this is how Sony prices games. Why do these other options still exist? What are they going to do when there's no other option? To clarify, when Sony accesses the discs, you will still be able to buy their games at other retailers, but you'll be buying a download code that still has to go through the PlayStation Store to get the
Uncle.
games.
I don't know what I expected.
So Sony will control the price, more so than they ever have been able to with discs. I wouldn't go as far as to say that Sony axed the disc.
All of this is just fuck the consumer. That's all it is. It's just fuck the consumer. Fuck you. Fuck the consumer.
They found out. Me too. Wait, subreact, overreact. How world was everybody.
Hiya. Rotoscoping is an animation technique used to trace or alter footage in motion pictures frame by frame. This is a very simple description of it, but it can be used for things such as disturbingly smooth animations, references, or whatever the fuck you think is cool. Everyone knows at this point about Disney's old use of the technique, but from some of the videos I've seen, it feels more like references most of the time as opposed to direct rotoscoping. Not to say they didn't.
Where are you?
Instead, I would like to bring up the other most notable examples of rotoscoping, being Coco the Creepy Ass Clown, created in 1918, Gulliver's Bizarre Adventures, created in 1939, all and possibly many
here.
more created by Max Fleischer. Max himself is credited as the creator of rotoscoping, along with many other memorable creations such as Betty Boop, Bimbo the Dog, Out of the Inkwell, blah blah blah, this ain't a History Channel. EV-Synth uses rotoscoping, we're messing around with the EV-Synth. Created by... Nope, fuck that.
Šárka Sokorová, Ondřej Jamriška.
EV-Synth is a
There you
tool
are.
that takes stylized frames and tries to apply them to the rest of the animation. Firstly, let's start with something simple. Color. Be back. Assume the position. So for starters, trying to add color to the line art just doesn't work. The test I tried with this was transparent background versus a colored background. And the colored one helps better define the character result, better outcome, and still flawed. Surprisingly, even Synth version 2 managed to actually do it fairly well.
Oops. Did I
Being
take
a
him?
later version of EV Synth, you'd expect
Oh,
it
hey,
to
a lower
just be
card.
better,
Wait a minute.
no. Anyway, before moving on to the next stage, I tested out a simple color change, and it handled it really well. Next up, shading. Shading is my primary reason for looking into EV Sim, and is what I typically have the most issues with. While maintaining a static shot in simple motion, the program can pretty easily apply the image to the rest of the frames,
I have
but
to go back to
still
base.
has very noticeable smears. Alright, let me admit right now that I messed up. While testing the shading in version 2, I noticed that the key image was not aligned correctly.
Inventory
I don't know how
full.
this happened, but after fixing it, the outcome was much better. Not perfect, but I don't think it ever will be. Also, version 2 was worse. For the final test, I wanted to try more motion along with changing expressions. Here is where a single key image is not enough and more are going to have to be added. But it's also here where I think the real problem with version 2 of EV Synth is showing. After using 4 keys, the results fared better with individual poses, but transitioning between them is where the problems lie. The bright side of this is that I'm sure these problems can be ironed out with just a few more keys.
Hey,
And these are only
look at
4
that.
images that I had to shade out of 82 frames, which made up the animation, which is pretty good despite the smearing.
I need to grab that.
And once again, version 2 of EV Synth did not perform well in this regard. Overall, I'm still on the fence about using it for future animations, but I do find it interesting to mess with. There's still a few settings that I have yet to experiment with, but that could be saved for another time. I'll probably use it occasionally for simple shots, but outside of that, I don't know, whatever.
Okay, now I got it. That's the dungeon right there.
So an animation by Yap Creations of Xenoblade.
Show your sword.
Huh?
Is it really?
Wait, that's your voice.
Yes.
Oh,
Everything you've heard is true.
Hiya. Rotoscoping is an animation technique used to trace or alter footage and motion pictures frame by frame. This is a very simple description of it, but it can be used for things such as disturbingly smooth animations, references, or whatever the fuck.
Power World is a game that I honestly expected to be nothing more than a shitpost game that would grow boring after the first hour. Haha, you can give Pokemon guns and put them into labor camps. Very funny. That was before I had sink 250 hours into it. For how goofy a concept this game is built off of, it's surprisingly in-depth. And what better way to show that off than human trafficking? In this game, what you can capture isn't just limited to pals. You can also capture humans. As funny as this is, doing this isn't very useful since they're very limited compared to pals. At least, at first glance anyways. Let me introduce you to our test subject, Zoe. She may be in the middle of a church, but I assure you, there is nothing holy about what we're about to do. Every pal has passive skills, a unique partner skill, and moves. But, as you can see here, due to her not being a pal, Zoe naturally has shitty passive skills, no partner skills, no moves. She is useless, and she will be going into the grinder. Fortunately, in this game, the natural state of things is considered an inconvenience, and there are systems in place to circumvent it. Behold, Bootleg Growler. This little guy, Yakumo, is our first step into making Zoe marginally useful. That's because Yakumo has this unique partner skill called Birds of a Feather. He is not a bird, I don't know why he has this, but what this partner skill does is that when fighting with Yakumo at your side, it makes it easier to encounter pals with the same passive skills as it. However, that description is kind of misleading. You see, the skill does not work on just pals. It also works on humans. So, with Yakumo, we can imprint its passive skills onto Zoe. Now, not all passive skills can be. Power World is a game that I honestly expected to be nothing more than a shitpost game that would grow boring after the first hour. Haha, you can give Pokemon guns and put them into labor camps. Very funny. That was before I proceeded to sink 250 hours into it. The proud goofy concept this game is built off of, it's surprisingly in-depth. And what better way to show that off than human trafficking? In this game, what you can capture isn't just limited to pals. You can also capture humans. As funny as this is, doing this isn't very useful since they're very limited compared to pals. At least, at first glance anyways. Let me introduce you to our test subject, Zoe. She may be in the middle of a church, but I assure you, there is nothing holy about what we're about to do. Every pal has passive skills, a unique partner skill, and moves. But, as you can see here, due to her not being a pal, Zoe naturally has shitty passive skills, no partner skills, no moves, she is useless, and she will be going into the grinder. Fortunately, in this game, the natural state of things is considered an inconvenience, and there are systems in place to circumvent it. Behold, Bootleg Growler. This little guy, Yakumo, is our first step into making Zoe marginally useful. That's because Yakumo has this unique partner skill called Birds of a Feather. He is not a bird, I don't know why he has this, but what this partner skill does is that when fighting with Yakumo at your side, it makes it easier to encounter pals with the same passive skills as it. However, that description is kind of misleading. You see, the skill does not work on just pals. It also works on humans. So, with Yakumo, we can imprint its passive little guy generally useful. That's because Yakumo has this unique partner skill called Birds of a Feather. He is not a bird, I don't know why he has this, but what this partner skill does is that when fighting with Yakumo at your side, it makes it easier to encounter pals with the same passive skills as it. However, that description is kind of misleading. You see, the skill does not work on just pals. It also works on humans. So, with Yakumo, we can imprint its passive skills onto Zoe. Now, not all passive skills can be transferred over, so you won't see something like Legend on Zoe, unfortunately. There's also a few prerequisites we need to meet. Firstly, Yakumo needs to have the right passive skills. And secondly, Yakumo's partner skill is recommended to be maxed out for the highest chance of its passive skills to be transferred over to our subject. So, how do we do this? In exorbitant amount of breeding. I won't get into all the details, but we need to get pals with the skills we want and then breed the correct combination to get Yakumo. We keep doing that until we get a Yakumo with the best possible passive skill combination. which for me ended up being Feroce's Demon God, Serenity, and Musclehead. Really, we only need Feroce's and Demon God, as Serenity and Musclehead can be given to Zoe relatively easily through the surgery table. However, even when we get to Yakumo, the ideal passive skills, remember, we don't stop there. Yakumo's partner skill can be upgraded to raise the chances of its passive skills being transferred over. And for a Pow's partner skill to be maxed out, it needs to be condensed with 116 of its kind. So, we need to breed even more Yakumo to act as essentially savior siblings. So we turn them all into a nice tasty smoothie with this big blender and feed the concoction to our cute doggo. And then, only then, can we finally move on to using this blasphemous creation in our goal of creating an arguably more blasphemous creation. So, that's one problem solved. Zoe now has passive skills. However, she still lacks moves, or active skills as they're technically called, which makes her still useless for the most part. Zoe, do something! So, she's going into the grinder. Okay, this time she doesn't actually go into the grinder. Rather, we just need to farm skill fruits, which can be fed to Zoe to give her moves. Specifically, we're looking for Holy Burst, Flame Funnel, Hydro Slicer, and Dark Wisp. Are these the best skill fruits? Of course! I did my utmost research on this through only the highest credible sources, such as Reddit posts and a random YouTube video. Now, Power World is frankly a very grindy game at times. That's my primary flaw I find with this game. But you can change a lot of world settings to your liking whenever you want to circumvent the grind, so it's not that big of an issue. The reason I'm bringing this up is because farming skill fruits is a very, very grindy process. Breeding, also a very grindy process, but I can handle that. Skill fruits are a whole other beast. To get the skill fruits I want, I would have to get specific skill fruits that have a very small chance of mutating into the skill fruit I want, and each skill fruit batch takes like an hour to grow. And that's assuming my animal slaves do their fucking job and actually water the skill fruits in the first place. Fortunately, there's another way. You see, the skill fruits I listed, all of them can actually be bought with tickets from a place called the Arena. We still have to grind, but I'd rather take the Arena than waiting for a minuscule chance of a crop mutation giving me what I want. It can be highest links. So we turn them all into a nice tasty smoothie with this big blender and feed the concoction to our cute doggo. And then, only then, can we finally move on to using this blasphemous creation in our goal of creating an arguably more blasphemous creation. So, that's one problem solved. Zoe now has passive skills. However, she still lacks moves, or active skills as they're technically called, which makes her still useless for the most part. Zoe, do something! So, she's going into the grinder. Okay, this time she doesn't actually go into the grinder. Rather, we just need to farm skill fruits, which can be fed to Zoe to give her moves. Specifically, we're looking for Holy Burst, Flame Funnel, Hydro Slicer, and Dark Wisp. Are these the best skill fruits? Of course! I did my utmost research on this through only the highest credible sources, such as Reddit posts and a random YouTube video. Now, Power World is frankly a very grindy game at times. That's my primary flaw I find with this game. But you can change a lot of world settings to your liking whenever you want to circumvent the grind, so it's not that big of an issue. The reason I'm bringing this up is because farming skill fruits is a very, very grindy process. Breeding, also a very grindy process, but I can handle that. Skill fruits are a whole other beast. To get the skill fruits I want, I would have to get specific skill fruits that have a very small chance of mutating into the skill fruit I want, and each skill fruit batch takes like an hour to grow. And that's assuming my animal slaves do their fucking job and actually water the skill fruits in the first place. Fortunately, there's another way. You see, the skill fruits I listed, all of them can actually be bought with tickets from a place called the Arena. We still have to grind, but I'd rather take the Arena than waiting for a minuscule chance of a crop mutation giving me what I want. Now that we have all the skill fruits, I'll plant them so that I have extras for later and we don't have to farm the arena for more in the future. Oh. Wait. I forgot this isn't Pokemon. So, turns out, I didn't actually need 4 skill fruits because pals and humans by association can only have 3 moves in their arsenal at a given time. Now comes the biggest, hardest grind. Earlier I mentioned that for Yakumo, we needed to condense 1/16 of its kind into its very being to bring the dog to its full potential. With Zoe, we need to do the same thing. While she doesn't have a partner skill to upgrade, regular stats are upgraded to with condensing, so it's still worth it. But unlike with Yakumo, we unfortunately cannot breed more Zoe. Trust me, I tried. I even tried to make one Zoe trans to breed with another Zoe, but the game didn't allow. What this means is that we'll need to catch 116 Zoes by hand. Is what I originally thought anyways, but fortunately, I learned that any human can be condensed for Zoe. So this isn't actually that grindy. Being able to use any human makes things comically easy compared to before actually. I'll just go to enemy camps and capture a bunch there. And I get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone doing this. Because while doing this, I can get rewards such as stat fruits to raise her base stats and kinship peaches to raise her trust level with me at these camps. Both of which bring her even closer to being the most powerful Zoe in existence. So, at this point, we now have a fully condensed Zoe with top-of-the-line moves and passive skills. Next, using power souls to enhance her stats, which honestly I should have done much earlier, but I forgot. And with that, all of the main stuff is done. If you'd like, you can stop here. But if you did, you would be a loser, because we can go even further. Zoe's potential stats, this game's form of IVs basically, are still not maxed out. Luckily, like everything else in this game, if it exists, there's a way for us to manipulate it. And like the rest of the steps prior, this one is going to be grindy too. Fortunately, my soul has already been drained of all feeling, so I no longer am irritated by this fact. Like the pals forced into manual labor in my warehouse at the base of the volcano, I too have learned just to do what is asked of me at this point. For this, I would do the Moon Lord boss over and over since the boss is pretty easy, and the reward for defeating them each time is a guaranteed 3 fruits. It's been a long time coming, and a lot of effort put into this project. But finally, we have the strongest Zoe there is. The strongest Zoe there can ever be, don't quote me on that. And with this incredible specimen in our possession, it's time to test it. By throwing it at the current hardest boss as of recording this, aside from raid bosses. But join Selection. Hard mode. I probably butchered that name hard. Come out, Demon God Zoe. You got this. Oh shit, Demon God Zoe. Oh fuck. So, I died. But, that was a skill issue on my part. Zoe noticed that she didn't die. Do you know what that means? It means we still have a chance. Zoe? So Zoe died too? But don't worry. This doesn't mean we lost. I prepared ahead of time and brought revival items with me for this battle. We can still do this. We ran out of time. I actually expected by the end of this video to make a joke about how even fully upgraded humans are still not good enough to keep up with pals. But actually, Zoe put in some work. Seriously. I only used Zoe, and even then we got the boss down to 1/3 of their HP. That's crazy. That's very impressive on its own and far better than I imagined. What I had imagined was me summoning Zoe to fights and her instantly dying to the boss in a very comedic fashion. But this isn't even the end of the story, believe it or not, because I went back to the boss for funsies afterwards, only with a full team accompanying Zoe this time. However, as it turns out, we didn't even need the full team. I never took Zoe out of the battlefield, never put in any of the other 4 pals I had brought, and still, we actually won? I guess my damage output had been consistently high enough this time where the boss just decided never to aggro on her. So she could pump out her high damage moves once in a while in complete safety while I kited the boss's attacks and kept its focus by consistently spreading it with a Vortex Speeder and a Terra Prisma. So, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the test was actually a success. Congratulations, Subject Zoe. You have now been promoted and added as a permanent addition to your party. In the end, it seems perseverance and human trafficking are all that is needed to truly succeed. Thank you so much for watching. I've been wanting to make a video on this game for a long time, but just couldn't find a good idea for it. As someone who grew up with Pokemon a lot as a kid, I really shouldn't be surprised by how much I ended up loving this game. I plan to do more videos on it too once 1.0 comes out, so stay tuned for that, and goodbye.
Darth Vader? No.
Your training is complete. Your grasp of the Force is acceptable.
Oh my god. Fortnite has added AI voices into actual Fortnite itself, and Darth Vader's the one that talks to you when he's on the team, and that's amazing. Hatsune Miku stuff. There's a few more here. What?
Have you ever listened to Mommy ASMR?
Mommy ASMR?
Hatsune Miku. You inquire about Mommy ASMR.
No shot, dude.
Explain this phenomenon. Does it involve lullabies or some other form of psychological manipulation?
A little bit, yeah. You inquire about Mommy. Just hear him say Hatsune Miku, you inquire about Mommy ASMR. That's crazy, bro. The latest Fortnite season is actually pretty fun, and that may just make me want to play tonight, man. That's so funny. Anyway, what's cracking, guys, and welcome to some good old video game memes. I'm a bit of a gamer myself out here. I mean, technically, my last video was a sponsored video about gaming itself. A little bit more than gaming, but anyway, I got some good video game memes here for you. Yo, go check it out, man. Let's get straight into it. I guess I woke Kiro up, my bad. Goofy ruined Sora's death scene. Okay. Oh. Well, see you later, man. See you later, big shoe, big hand boy. Oh, Donald.
Showed me money.
Excuse you, Goofy. Yuck. I need my money, Sora. Yuck. I'm a bust a nikke. Sorry, man. Oh. Well, guys, we're just sitting on a throne and this is Skyra. Oh, okay, I recognize that vampire lady anyway. Serana, all right. Okay, well, is there a place for her? Or what do you... Hi. Hello. Hello, what you gonna do there? That looked like something naughty was about to. That was somewhat menacing and somewhat, you know, kind of nice. The artist behind Fallout 3's Deathclaw is both awe and terrified by the sheer tonnage of Deathclaw